Very good morning. You're watching the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television. All the biggest news stories from India and across the world coming up in the next 30 minutes. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor and these are the headlines. Naveen Patnaik to be sworn in as Odisha Chief Minister for 5th time in a row. 20 ministers also to take oath. Pema Khandu to take oath as Arunachal Pradesh Chief Minister for the second term. Amit Shah meets Prime Minister Modi ahead of a swearing-in. BIMSTEC leaders, Kyrgyz and Mauritian premiers confirm attendance. US calls India a great ally, says will work closely with Modi. Rahul Gandhi adamant on quitting as Congress president after poll debacle. Allies DMK, RJD, party leaders urge him to reconsider. Mamata Banerjee reshuffles West Bengal cabinet after 2 TMC MLAs, 50 councillors join BJP. Takes away portfolios of former Forest Minister Binay Barman and Western Region Development Minister Shanti Ram Mahato. And mercury soars to 47.5 degrees Celsius in Nagpur. Severe heat wave in Telangana, Odisha and Bihar. Temperatures cross 40 degrees Celsius in central and northern states. Our top story this morning is from Odisha, where Naveen Patnaik will take oath as the Odisha's Chief Minister for the 5th consecutive time today. Odisha Governor Ganeshi Lal will administer the oath of office to Naveen Patnaik and his Council of Ministers in a ceremony at the exhibition ground in Bhubaneswar at 10:30 a.m. 20 ministers are also set to be sworn in along with the Chief Minister. On Tuesday, Governor Ganeshi Lal appointed 11 cabinet and 9 state-rank ministers on the recommendations of Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik. 10 new legislatures have been included this time in the Council of Ministers. The Biju Janata Dal secured 112 seats in the 147-member Odisha Assembly in the recently concluded elections, though Naveen Patnaik in the earlier 4 occasions was sworn in at the Raj Bhavan. This is for the first time that he will be taking oath in a grand manner. Naveen Patnaik has invited Prime Minister Narendra Modi to the swearing-in ceremony. However, it is unclear whether PM Modi will be able to attend it. And BJP leader Pema Khandu will be sworn in as the Chief Minister of Arunachal Pradesh for the second time today. The swearing-in ceremony will be held at the Dorji Khandu Convention Centre in Itanagar. Retired Governor Brigadier B.D. Mishra will administer the oath of office and secrecy. Earlier, the meeting of the BJP Legislature Party was held, in which Pema Khandu was unanimously elected as the leader of the Legislative Party. The tenure of the 9th Arunachal Pradesh Assembly is being completed on the 1st of June. Remember, BJP won 41 of the 60 Assembly seats in Arunachal Pradesh for the first time. And on to some other news. The BIMSTEC leaders have confirmed their participation in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's swearing-in ceremony. External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Ravish Kumar said that the President of Bangladesh, Mohammad Abdul Hamid, Sri Lankan President Maithripala Sirisena, President of Myanmar, U Win Mint, Prime Minister of Nepal, KP Sharma Oli, Prime Minister of Bhutan, Dr. Lote Tshering, and Special Envoy of Thailand have confirmed their participation. Mauritian Prime Minister Pravind Kumar Jugnauth and the President of Kyrgyz Republic, Jibekov, have also confirmed their participation at the event. Remember, India had invited the leaders of BIMSTEC countries for the swearing-in ceremony, focusing on the neighbourhood first policy.
India underscoring its neighbourhood first policy by inviting the heads of state of BIMSTEC nations for the swearing-in ceremony of Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
This is an event of great joy and celebration for the ruling party, which has just won the election again. So it is natural that you invite friendly countries, especially the neighboring countries, to join in the celebrations, and it's also an expression of the intent of the government to pursue further friendly policies with these countries to strengthen relations, especially economic and technical cooperation with these countries.
Pakistan is the neighbor who does not find a place on the invitation list, underlining India's stand on zero tolerance for nations supporting terrorism as state policy.
With Pakistan, our relations are not particularly good right now, and there is no reason to ask them to come and join in celebrations in India, especially when they are likely to strike a discordant note. So the government decided to extend the invitation to BIMSTEC countries and to two other countries, Mauritius and Kyrgyzstan. Mauritius because it's a very close, very friendly country, and Kyrgyzstan in its capacity as the current chair of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization.
BIMSTEC heads of governments were first invited out of turn in 2016 by India for the BRICS summit in Goa.
BIMSTEC is one of these organizations that India has formed of countries around the Bay of Bengal. It's called the Bay of Bengal Multi-Sectoral Initiative. BIMSTEC has 7 members, India, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Bhutan, Nepal in the north, Sri Lanka, Myanmar and Thailand. So these 7 countries constitute, what's common among them is that they are all around the Bay of Bengal, and they represent the eastern part of the Look East policy of India to strengthen relations not only, especially with the countries towards the east.
BIMSTEC stands for the Bay of Bengal Initiative for Technical and Economic Cooperation. Established on 6 June 1997, it did not get much attention since most members belong to SAARC or ASEAN grouping. With inputs from Astha Kulshresht, Akhilesh Suman's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And terming India as a great ally, the Trump administration has said that the US will continue to work closely with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The US asserted that it was confident in the fairness and integrity of Lok Sabha elections in India. US President Donald Trump, Vice President of the country Mike Pence and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo congratulated Prime Minister Modi and BJP on the spectacular electoral victory. State Department spokesperson said that Pompeo was looking forward to have a robust discussion with his Indian counterpart on a wide range of issues. And our colleague Akhilesh Suman is now joining us on the phone line for more details on that ceremony, that is the swearing-in ceremony. Akhilesh, a very good morning. So the Rashtrapati Bhavan will be hosting one of the largest gatherings ever for a single event. We understand that 5,000 to 6,000 eminent persons are expected to attend the swearing-in ceremony of PM Modi and his Council of Ministers for a second term. Of course, the BIMSTEC leaders have confirmed their participation. What more details can you give us?
You know, this is called the largest gathering ever by any Prime Minister while taking oath, and this is going to be in the forecourt of Rashtrapati Bhavan. And you might have seen the last time also it happened in the same place. But what is the difference between this time and the other time? That, Pakistan is not there. And it is a very clear message that, if you continue with terror, don't expect any support and any recognition from India. So this is one big message. Other thing that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called BIMSTEC, SCO's, chair, and also Mauritius, that is evergreen friend of India. And these are the countries which are really keen for development and want to join the development path of India and also against terrorism. So I think the foreign policy priorities are very clear, and this from the very first day, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to give the signal that what he expects from the foreign policy. Other than that, in the beginning only that he is going to Maldives, and though it will be announced later, but he is going to Maldives, though Maldives president is not called here, but by going to Maldives, he also wants to give importance to the neighborhood. So I think the very first day that Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his government going to make it clear that how India stands in the world, how India wants to project itself in Asia, and how India wants to gather the country who want development with peace. That's Faria.
All right. Thank you so much, Akhilesh, for all those updates there. And BJP President Amit Shah met Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday. The leaders are understood to have discussed the contours of the new government, which will be sworn in on Thursday. Though there was no official word on what transpired in their meeting, but both the leaders are believed to have discussed the formation of the second Modi government, including the choices of ministerial berths and portfolios. The new Council of Ministers is likely to reflect BJP's rise in West Bengal and Telangana. Meanwhile, turmoil within the Congress party continues, with Rahul Gandhi insisting on quitting as the party president and taking moral responsibility for the poll debacle. The senior party leaders are trying to convince Rahul Gandhi to change his mind about quitting as the party president. Allies DMK and RJD also have urged the Congress president not to quit. Rahul Gandhi has refused to go back on the decision that he had conveyed to the party at the Congress Working Committee's post-mortem meet on Saturday.
मॉरल ग्राउंड पे इस्तीफा दे रहे हैं और उनको ये भी एहसास है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी के बहुत सारे साथियों ने जितनी ताकत के साथ खड़ा होना चाहिए था इतनी ताकत के साथ नहीं खड़े हुए। लेकिन आज कांग्रेस पार्टी को राहुल गांधी की ज़रूरत है। जितनी ज़रूरत आज है राहुल गांधी की शायद इससे पहले इतनी नहीं थी। पूरी कांग्रेस उनके साथ है, उनकी लीडरशिप के अंदर हम आगे बढ़ेंगे, पूरी मेहनत करेंगे। आगे 5 साल का वक्त हमारे पास है। जो कमियां रही हैं उन कमियों को दूर करेंगे और एक बार फिर, चूंकि चुनाव हारे हैं, हमने अपने दिलों को नहीं हारा है।
Faced with an electoral defeat, the Congress has been driven by internal turmoil after Punjab, Jharkhand and Assam. Maharashtra Congress Chief Ashok Chavan, MPCC Chief Kamal Nath and UP State Chief Raj Babbar have also offered to step down. The crisis in Rajasthan Congress also deepened with the 2 more leaders voicing their concerns. Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot said that Rahul Gandhi has the right change that the organization needs. And in a major political upheaval in West Bengal, 3 MLAs and more than 50 municipal councillors joined the BJP on Tuesday. The MLAs include TMC's. The MLA includes TMC's Tushar Kanti Bhattacharya, BJP leader Mukul Roy's son, and who was suspended from the TMC, and CPIM's Debendranath Roy. The MLAs joined the Saffron Party at a press conference in Delhi, where BJP General Secretary and its in charge for West Bengal, Kailash Vijayvargiya and Mukul Roy told the media that more MLAs from the TMC are expected to join the party in the coming days. Now, with over 50 councillors joining the BJP, the party has got a majority in at least 3 municipal councils in West Bengal. The move comes days after the Lok Sabha results dealt a blow to the TMC, which fell to 22 seats from 34, while the BJP's tally zoomed to 18 from 2 in 2014.
हर महीने अलग अलग चरणों में ज्वाइनिंग का कार्यक्रम होगा। ये पहले चरण में 3 विधायक और 50 काउंसलर हैं। 3 नगर पालिकाओं पे हमारा कब्जा है। जिला पंचायत पे भी हमारा कब्जा होगा और अब धीरे धीरे करके ममता जी के आतंक से, ममता जी की तानाशाही से परेशान होकर जिन लोगों का टीएमसी में दम घुट रहा है, वो सारे लोग बीजेपी में आना चाहते हैं।
जो संस्कृति है, भारतीय जनता पार्टी जो कृष्टि है, ये हम लोग बर्दाश्त करने नहीं चाहता है। हम लोग खून का विश्वास नहीं करा है। देखिए, आप तो जानता है, चुनाव होने के बाद 2 खून हुआ, उसके पहले हमारा 80 कार्यकर्ता खून हुआ। तो हम लोग खून का राजनीति विश्वास करते नहीं है। तो हम इस तरीके से बोल रहा है, ये हिंसा के लिए जो कोई दायी है तो तृणमूल ही दायी है। चंदन घोष तो भाजपा वर्कर है, तो बोल रहा है चंदन घोष हुआ है, सोंटू घोष हुआ है चाकदा में। तो ये 2 खून जो हुआ ना, हिंसा तो बोल रहा है हम लोग कर रहा है, लेकिन हम लोग कर रहा नहीं है। जो कर रहा है वो तृणमूल ही कर रहा है, अरे उसका साथ पुलिस है।
Meanwhile, the TMC likened its MLAs who joined the BJP to rats abandoning a ship sensing danger and said that people will give them a befitting reply. And hours after TMC MLAs and councillors joined the BJP, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee made major changes in her cabinet. Transport Minister Subendu Adhikare was entrusted with 2 more departments of irrigation and the water resources investigation and development, while Bratya Basu has been given additional charge of the forest department along with his portfolio of the science and technology and biotechnology. And Minister of Fire Department Sujit Bose was made the Minister of State of Forest Department. Portfolios of several other ministers have also been rigged. And former Forest Department Minister Binay Krishna Burman and Western Region Development Minister Shanti Ram Mehto were kept as ministers without any portfolios. And news from Karnataka now. The BJP's president of Karnataka unit, B.S. Yeddyurappa, has once again called for the dissolution of the Congress-JDS government and the fresh polls in the state, as he pointed to his party's historic win in the Lok Sabha election. Remember, BJP won 25 of the 28 seats in Karnataka in the recently concluded general elections.
You see, you know very well, we are 177 assembly constituents, we are number 1 place. Out of 25 Lok Sabha constituencies. Better if they dissolve the assembly and go for fresh elections. For that, we will welcome it.
The government is aiming for a double-digit growth by 2022 by focusing on private investments, ease of business and also creating more jobs through tourism and infrastructure, says Niti Aayog Vice Chairman Rajiv Kumar. In an exclusive interview to Rajya Sabha TV, Rajiv Kumar lays out the blueprint of the key priority areas of the Narendra Modi government.
We are preparing that. We are really focused on preparing a vision which is for 2047 and where we want the economy, and we are trying to lay out the contours of what the size of the economy would be, what's the sort of rate of growth that we require for that, and which are the sectors which will grow and what will be our share in the world trade, etc., etc. So that's a project that we are undertaking. You know that we did one for the strategy for New India at 75, which is the economy for 2022. So that document is already ready. That's with the government, and there are several suggestions, recommendations there already for this government to act upon. You talked about the challenges, and I think I did mention the challenge, which is that one of the biggest challenges is, for example, for me, apart from investment and agriculture that I mentioned, is to tackle malnourishment in the country. A very large percentage, almost about 36% of our children are undernourished, and 50% of our women are anemic. And I think that's one very big challenge that Niti Aayog.
And you can watch that entire interview tonight at 10 p.m. on Rajya Sabha TV. So don't forget to tune in at that time. And with that, we'll take a very short break here. We'll be right back with more news on the other side. Stay tuned.
Guttum, one of the oldest and most unique percussion instruments of southern India. You can play it not only with your fingers, but palms, wrists and heels as well. You'll be surprised, but the air inside the Guttum reverberates, creating the musical notes. 5 elements of nature, earth, water, air, fire and space make up the composition of this beautiful musical piece, which has found an apt place in most of the ancient books.
Welcome back. News from Uttar Pradesh, where at least 14 people died and around 40 others were taken ill after consuming spurious liquor in Barabanki district. 4 members of a family are said to be among those who died in the incident that took place on Monday night. The UP government has ordered a magisterial probe into the Barabanki huge tragedy. A high-level probe has been ordered that will look at all the angles, including the possibility of a political conspiracy. And according to UP Minister Siddharth Nath Singh, locals belonging to Raniganj and adjoining villages consumed liquor purchased from a shop in Ramnagar area on Monday night and were rushed to Ramnagar Community Health Centre after they were taken ill early Tuesday morning. Several others who were taken ill were referred to various other hospitals in Lucknow, and the Chief Minister has also announced an ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees each for the deceased's families.
पहले तो प्रत्येक मृतक को 2 लाख की आर्थिक सहायता, मगर इसके अंदर एक जांच कमेटी बनाई है तुरंत। इसके अंदर आयुक्त अयोध्या, आबकारी आयुक्त, आईजी अयोध्या, ये सब लोग संयुक्त जांच करेंगे और 48 घंटे में रिपोर्ट देंगे।
And the weather update now with a delayed start to the monsoon. Intense heat will dominate large parts of India as well as neighbouring Pakistan in the coming weeks. While the heat has came in pulses so far this year, the current heat wave is forecast to last well into June. Temperatures will soar above 40 degrees Celsius across the central and northern India each day, with the widespread high temperatures of 42 to 46 degrees Celsius. With the Delhi already reeling under hot and dry weather conditions, the heat wave is expected to grip the city, with the mercury likely to breach the 45-degree mark in the next 3 days. The Met Department has said that Delhi is likely to experience heat wave conditions from 29th of May till 2nd of June, with the temperatures touching 45 degrees Celsius on 30th of May. Dry weather conditions are expected to continue over entire north and northwest India. The temperatures are set to increase over Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, western Uttar Pradesh and parts of Rajasthan. Persistent heatwave conditions in Vidarbha, Marathwada and Maharashtra are also likely to continue until next week. And the scrutiny of nominations for election to 2 Rajya Sabha seats from Assam is taking place today. The last date for the withdrawal of nominations is 31st of May, and polling for filling up 2 vacancies in Rajya Sabha from Assam will take place on 7th of June, and the counting of votes will be undertaken on the same day. BJP's Kamakhya Prasad Tasa and its alliance partner Guttum Percusson's Birendra Prasad Baisya have filed their nominations, and Tasa, who is a prominent face of the T tribe community, was a MP from Jorhat constituency in the outgoing Lok Sabha, and AGP veteran Birendra Prasad Baisya has been named earlier as the consensus candidate for the 2nd Rajya Sabha seat of the ruling alliance partners.
जो जिम्मेदारी दी मैं उनको धन्यवाद ज्ञापन करता हूं और चाहता हूं कि भविष्य में आसाम के लिए काम करना है, अपना स्टेट के लिए काम करना, अपना आदमी के लिए काम करना है, ये हम पूरा निभाएंगे और राष्ट्र हित के लिए जो काम करने के लिए हम लोग को उत्साहित किया है और जो दायित्व निर्वाह किया है उसको हम पालन करेंगे.
Tasa and Baisya were named candidates for 2 seats in the upper house from Assam that fell vacant as the term of former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh and another Congress Rajya Sabha MP Santyus Kujur will end on 14th of June. Rajya Sabha chairman has reconstituted the Content Advisory Committee of Rajya Sabha Television with effect from 6th of May 2019. Rajya Sabha Deputy Chairman Harivansh has been nominated to be the chairman of this advisory committee, while other members of the committee are Dr. Vinay P. Sahasrabudhe, Oscar Fernandez, Professor Ram Gopal Yadav, Navneet Krishnan, Derek O'Brien, A. Samantha, K.K. Ragesh, also Vandana Chavan and Swapn Dasgupta are part of this committee members. The committee is expected to give suggestions to the issues related to Rajya Sabha TV. And the newly created anti-corruption ombudsman Lokpal has launched a competition for its logo and motto. It has sought entries and is offering a cash prize of 25,000 rupees. According to an official announcement seeking the entry, people can send in their entries up to 13th of June, and the motto and slogan should be catchy and should not be more than 4 to 5 words. The language for the motto and slogan should be Hindi, Sanskrit or English. All the entries received within the due date will be evaluated by a selection committee which would be constituted by the Lokpal. A total of 1,239 entries have been received for Lokpal's motto, and at least 365 entries have been received for the logo. Remember, Lokpal is a statutory body constituted under the Lokpal and Lok Ayukt Act 2013 to inquire into the allegations of corruption against certain categories of public servants or functionaries. On 23rd of March, President Ramnath Kovind had administered the oath of office to Justice Pinaki Chandra Ghosh as the chairperson of the Lokpal. 8 other members of the Lokpal were administered the oath by Justice Ghosh on 27th of March. Sports news now. Centuries from KL Rahul and MS Dhoni, along with an very important performance by the wrist spinners, helped India defeat Bangladesh by a comfortable margin of 95 runs in the second World Cup warm-up match on Tuesday. After their disastrous performance against New Zealand in the first practice match, Kohli and company bounced back in fine style. There were a lot of positives for India, with the likes of Dhoni, Rahul and Kohli hitting a purple patch with the bat, while Kuldeep Yadav and Yuzvendra Chahal chipped in at the wickets column. Batting first, India were off to a poor start, with the Shikhar Dhawan departing early. Rohit Sharma also struggled during his brief stay, and at one stage India were 102 for 4. But from there, it was the partnership of Rahul and Dhoni which set up the platform for Dhoni's lace assault in the final overs, which took the scoreboard past 350 as India ended on an imposing 359 for the loss of 7 wickets. And in reply, Bangladesh never got going apart from a promising 120-run partnership between Liton Das and Mushtafiqur Rahman. None of the other Bangladeshi batsmen could stick around, and their innings was wrapped up for 264 in 49.3 overs. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks for watching.